From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is 1011's Morning Pulse.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.
Good morning, I'm Jackson Wilford with your Morning Pulse for July 4th, 2024. As so many of you know, it's our nation's holiday today with so many events kicking off in our viewing area. And whether you are hanging around here in the capital city or heading off to Seward for the 4th of July parade, which by the way has been moved to 2 p.m. because of potential showers and storms, it's important to remember basic Independence Day safety. We spoke with the Nebraska Safety Council that touched on a few safety tips we haven't hit on yet this year. One of those being, if you see someone holding a firework, don't try and copy them. And for those larger fireworks, always keep an eye from a safe distance before walking back up to it. Just because it looks like it finished doesn't mean it always has. Now, if you do find yourself celebrating in Seward, be on the lookout for this moving piece of history. Back in February, a collector donated this World War II vehicle called an M29C model Weasel to the Nebraska National Guard Museum. Since it's been donated, it's gotten quite the facelift and a brand new paint job, making it look like it once did, fresh off the assembly line in 1945. Now back here in Lincoln, a former deputy with the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office who was charged with 2 misdemeanors earlier this year for not serving a pair of warrants is now suing the sheriff and the department. Ryan Schmucker filed these lawsuits last month in district court. He's arguing that his firing was excessive considering that this was his first misstep and that the arrest warrants that he had failed to serve aren't covered in the state's law that got him fired. As of now, Schmucker is still charged with those misdemeanors, but he has a motion in to toss those charges, but that is still currently pending. That decision should be reached later this month. And investigators are still trying to get to the bottom of what sparked an argument that ended with a man stabbed in the neck. Someone has been arrested in connection, but they're facing a weapons charge, not an assault charge. The 41-year-old man who was stabbed walked to the U-Stop at West O and First around 7:30 yesterday morning. From there, LPD and LFR were called. The man was rushed to the hospital. It's unclear exactly where the stabbing happened, but there was police tape around a nearby bus stop. And in other headlines, yesterday evening was a big day for Nebraska politics. 5 p.m. was the target time. That was the hard deadline for most of the campaigns circulating petitions to get their signatures in. So who made the deadline? Well, both petitions for medical cannabis ended with 114,000 signatures, well over the roughly 9,000 signatures needed. The Protect Our Rights campaign, which also would allow voters to roll back the 12-week abortion ban and set the standard of fetal viability up to 24 weeks, scored 207,000 signatures. A dueling amendment petition that would set the current restriction in stone for the Nebraska Constitution got 205,000 signatures. We reached out to that group, but didn't hear anything back beyond a general media release. Now, it is important to note that none of these are guaranteed to be on the November ballot. Now let's round out your Thursday morning with a look at your 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to 1011's Morning Pulse. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.